Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know him, Larry Wayne. What's going on, buddy?
Not much. Same old, about the same as always. Playing music and trying to survive.
Yeah, that's what we're all doing, man. Been a while since we talked. I think the last time was back in June, July, something like that, and nothing was going on then. And, buddy, ever since then, you've been to, where'd you go, Missouri, Minnesota? You've been everywhere.
I was in West Plains, Missouri. We did a show, and I went with my friend Chris Bentley of Sunday Best. We did a show in Missouri. We've been to Bristol, Georgetown, and I've been doing my thing with my guys. We have played everywhere. I mean, it's just all of a sudden the good Lord blessed, and it just took off, man, you know.
Is it like more, is touring different now than what it was before all of this kicked off?
Yeah, everything has been, not everything, but, you know, small capacities, social distancing, and the big thing is, you know, we've been having to do a lot of smaller things, you know, that... meaning like smaller venues. Yeah. And I've had to learn to downsize, like my equipment I can take with me or the amount of people I can take far as the band and go. So it's been a really good learning process for me because I've actually had to do some shows completely by myself too, just me. Whoa. Let me tell you something.
That's different.
You stand there with a guitar, I'll buy you lonesome. If you make a mistake, you don't have anybody else to blame it on, homie. You better be on your money on that.
See that's what you musicians are learning now. See, like us comedy people, we're just up there with a microphone. That's it.
It's tough, man.
If the show goes wrong, it's your fault.
Right.
There's nobody else to blame it on.
Yeah, I did one in Charleston, and I was by myself, and I was just like, oh, my God, this is so awful. But I was scared to death, but after I got started, it was okay. And it makes you play different, too, because... You kind of got to play like what Hendrix did, because Hendrix played lead and rhythm at the same time. Plus, he was the only guitar. So when you're by yourself as a singer and playing guitar, you got to play completely different. It makes your brain just melt, trying to think about, you know, well, I can't play this song that way. I'm going to have to do it a different way now.
One of the cool things that I've seen that you and Chris done over the last few months, y'all were on a boat with a bunch of people just all sitting around in a circle strumming the guitars. That was so cool, man.
I loved it. We had a blast that day. It was crazy windy, and it would get really hot, and then it would get really cold. So we were continually jacket on, jacket off, jacket on. Then, you know, you'd be trying to play and then trying to hold the hat with one hand. Yeah. And I was regretting wearing my hat. I was scared to death. I was like, it's going to blow in the lake, and I'm going to lose my hat. It was all, but we had a blast.
I wish that like y'all could somehow turn that into a thing, like almost like a booze cruise, something like that.
Yes, it would be awesome. We did that to help the Prestonsburg Tourism Committee, and I guess you know they're going to use it for one of their ads or whatever. But all of us guys and girls that was on there, you know, the musicians, we were just there to play. Yeah, it was great.
It looked awesome,
we wrecked the boat,
man. Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Like 10 seconds after we left, wreck.
How'd you wreck the boat?
Our captain was put in reverse, backed away from the dock, put it in forward, but he didn't ease it in forward. He just dropped it in forward wide open, just plow, straight into a big houseboat. Like 10 seconds. We were on the boat 10 seconds and crashed. And I was like, yeah, we're going to die today.
So that was afterwards?
Oh, no, that was before we even got started. I was thinking, this is a terrible way to start the day.
You don't want to see your boat captain crash right before you get on it. Was it okay? I mean,
he broke like a little light on it or whatever. But
what about the houseboat?
Oh, it was one of those big old giant ones down there. I was thinking, oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, that's $1 million houseboat, and you just plowed it with a $10 pontoon. It was so funny. I was just sitting there thinking, this is going to be a terrible day. But it turned out awesome. Everybody had such a good time. There was so much good singing going on. I got to play a song. I've never played an Irish tune before.
What Irish tune?
The guy that Matt was playing the mandolin. It's called they call it a jig. It's an Irish jig.
Oh, that's cool.
It's the coolest thing that you'll ever play on a guitar, just to play an Irish jig. I'd never played one, but I figured it out pretty quick, and it's just like a big weird strum. You just kind of strum, and you got to tune your guitar funny.
Now you got to start doing like Dropkick Murphy covers and stuff like that. There you go.
Yeah. I'll wear me a kilt, or is that Scottish?
Yeah, man, I hope that they start like implementing stuff like that in Prestonsburg. Heck, they're doing everything down there. But that would be so cool, man, just like go out on a boat there on Dewey Lake with a bunch of musicians and do something cool like that. Because, yeah, I mean, it looked like everybody's having a blast.
Man, it was great. I had a blast. I was killed by the time I got home because from the moving and all that and trying to hold yourself still, I was wore out. I felt like I'd been played a show for about 10 hours.
Hey, and speaking about Chris, I seen where old Sunday Best is making a comeback.
2021.
Yeah, man, had the old nanner on there.
I'm glad for them, man. They did really well, and I enjoy playing with Chris and stuff, and they deserve it. You know, all the musicians around here, every one of them deserve everything they can get because they all work hard, and whether anybody believes it or not, this is hard work.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if it's your living. If it's just a hobby and you've got a job through the week, you know, fine. But if you depend on it and this is your living and you want to make a career, it's hard work. It ain't just the playing music. It's the running everywhere, going and doing this, meet that person, call this one, keeping up with this, trying to promote yourself. And it's hard work, but it's worth it. To me, it's worth it. I mean, more times than not, I don't make anything, but it's worth it.
Yeah, I couldn't see myself doing anything else, like being a doctor or a lawyer. That's not going to happen. That ain't me. Other people, different strokes for different folks. Everybody has what floats their boat. But this is the entertainment industry just in general. That's what I love most about what we do is it's forever changing. You know, you cannot get bored with these type of professions.
If you get bored, then you're not applying yourself.
No, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, because you can never get bored. You can always learn. Like, you know, like me, you know, country music, rock music, whatever you want to call it, you know, or southern rock, the way I play. If I learned everything there was to learn about that, well, then there's blues, R&B, jazz. There's all kinds of stuff, you know, that I could still learn and not get bored.
Yeah.
You can take a little bit from anything and make yourself better and never get bored and just evolve.
Well, that's one thing we were talking about before we got on air is like not being inside of a box. And that's something that I see with every type of music genre nowadays. Like you'll have Justin Bieber featuring in a country song, or you'll have somebody like Chris Stapleton doing some rock stuff, or just like everybody's all over the place. And that's so cool, man, because anybody that's in a creative field, it's not good to be placed inside of a box and fit a certain stereotype. Get out of your comfort zone. Right. You never know what's going to happen. Even Miley Cyrus is making a Metallica album now. I seen that the other day.
I did not.
Yeah, she's doing a Metallica covers album.
That'd be pretty cool.
Dude, you know, people can say what they want.
Voice.
She has the voice. I mean,
she's got a good voice.
She can pull it off.
Where her dad could sing.
Yeah.
People hated him. And the only reason they hated him because they were jealous of him.
Or just achy breaky heart. I mean, like that song was just, it's a good song, but it's been ran in the ground, man.
You know, but look what it done for him.
Yep.
If he never had any other hits, that song made him plenty of money, took care of his family, and left him a legacy.
Yeah.
You know, and I really feel people were just jealous of him because he came from Flatwoods.
Yeah.
And he was a nobody, but he worked hard. And he played the shows, and he put the time in, and he made it.
Yeah.
So, I don't care if I liked him. He's got a phenomenal voice.
And even before then, back in his era, you know, country music wasn't exactly that big of a thing anymore. That the whole era of the outlaw country kind of died down, and it was about other genres of music, and he brought it back.
Yeah, they owe him that much anyway.
Oh, yeah, and that's probably why they're jealous of him, too. Now, that's something that bums me out when it comes to what we do is so much jealousy in the industry. That's crazy.
Fact. That's a fact.
And it's something that I'm seeing a lot less of in some places, especially like around here. But you go to these bigger cities and all that. Yeah, man.
If you don't, I've said it before, we got to help each other.
Yeah.
I mean, I play with all kinds of different people, you know. It doesn't matter who they are. I mean, I play with everybody. You know, I have my band and what I do. But, you know, like I said, I went and done some stuff with Chris. I've done stuff with Troy Burchett. I've done stuff with all kinds of different people. And, you know, I had a show a couple of weeks ago, and Tim Michaels had a show the same night, but his got canceled, I guess, because of rain, maybe. Well, he popped in where I was at. Excuse me. Well, I saw him out in the audience. I was like, come sing one with me.
Yeah.
You know, and I let him take the lead, and I just stepped off the stage and played because we need to help each other.
Yes.
We got to promote each other because we're our own promoters at this level, what we're at, and if we don't help each other, and you get to the point where you think you don't have to help anybody and it's all about you, then you don't deserve anything.
No.
You don't deserve to play music because music is universal and it's supposed to be for everybody. Yeah. And, you know, that's the way I feel about it, you know. And we're talking about the crossing over genres. My favorite singer of all time, Freddie Mercury.
He's one of the best.
Big opera album. I mean, he's one of the greatest rock singers of all time, and he did the big opera album. I was just watching about that again the other night. I mean, look how well that done.
Yeah.
I mean, you could, I mean, I dress the way I do because I grew up like this. Grew up on a farm. So, I am what I am, but I write my music what I write. I don't write it for any particular group of people. I write it for anybody that wants to hear it, whether they're rock and roll, R&B, country, bluegrass, whatever, you know. Whoever wants to hear it.
Yeah, but that happens a lot, though. People will try to play towards a certain crowd, you know, and that's where you're forgetting about all these types of people that could be your fans, but you're cutting them off because you want to play for these certain people, and that puts you inside of a box and also limits your opportunities, too.
It does. I mean, if you label yourself a certain way, then... and you just push that, then people are going to be like, well, that's not, you know, they don't feel relatable to you anymore. Those groups don't. You've got a small market at that point. If you try to just get with everybody and you know, play music for everybody and not limit yourself, then you've got a whole broader audience of people that can enjoy your music. But if you can put yourself in that box, then I think you're messing up.
Yeah, I do too. But that's something that I think probably the internet has had a big hold of. People experiencing new things and trying out new things, getting out of their comfort zones, because now we have all of this information that we can take in and learn that, you know, all these great musicians like Jimi Hendrix, like we were talking about earlier, he studied, you know, jazz and blues and all that. Even though he was mostly, people would classify him as psychedelic rock, they learn off of all of these other people.
Oh, absolutely.
And people, they're learning, I think, and it's a good thing too.
It is. I mean, I've learned from every type of music. I've learned something.
Yeah.
And I listen to every type of music. I mean, you know, I've even listened to rap music, you know, when I was younger, like Tupac.
Yeah.
He was my favorite because the way he could approach a song, it was rapping, but he was, I don't know, he was really poetic about it.
Yeah.
And then the stuff that they would add in behind him, the layers of different sounds and different things.
Yeah.
You know, I learned from that. Just the smallest little noise, like a little ting, you take that completely out of that song, it changed the whole song.
Yeah.
So I learned from listening to all kinds of music, you know, and I appreciate all kinds of music because you never know, just that little tiniest thing that you learn, you might can put and use that in something you write and it change your world.
Yeah. Well, you know, rock came from blues and jazz, you know. Yeah. Hip hop came from, you know, funk and the whole George Clinton era and all of that stuff. I mean, something comes from everything. Country came from folk and bluegrass, and the list goes on. Yeah. It's ridiculous for people not to embrace this thing that we're holding in our hands right here. We got anything that we want to know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right here. That's amazing.
That's, you know, and like you're talking about music, everything came from gospel.
True.
Everything. Well, I do gospel songs. I do one in particular every show. I do an old song, Wayfaring Stranger. Jack White just done it.
Yeah.
All kinds of people. Trace Akins has done it. Johnny Cash done it. But I took that song and completely changed it. Completely all the way around to fit me. And now it's not country. It's not bluegrass. It's not folk. I don't know what it is.
But it sounds good. And that's
but
all
it fits
that matters.
me.
Yeah.
And that's what people need to do. If they look at something and say, well, that's country, but I like it, but I don't want to play it because it's country and I'm rock and roll, well, take it. Make it your own.
Yeah.
Do that. That's the biggest thing. Make whatever you're hearing or whatever you want to play your own. Don't be constrained to a box.
Yeah. Look what Johnny Cash done with Hurt. That was originally a Nine Inch Nails song. And a lot of people don't know that because Johnny done it so good. Even Nine Inch Nails will say, like, yeah, we don't perform that anymore. That song is Johnny's. Now, he done it better than we ever could.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got to make it your own and don't label yourself.
Yeah. Well, and, that's what I think happens to a lot of these so-called stars or just people that are trying too hard in this industry. They'll try to play for certain crowds or paint themselves as this image that they're not. And then a few years go by and they're wondering who I really am, who am I? And they don't recognize the person that they see in the mirror. And it's sad when people fall into those traps like that.
Well, the old saying is, don't paint yourself into a corner.
Yeah.
If you do, it's hard to get out. Because when you've made yourself to be, this is absolutely what I am. Like, case in point, Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
Love Garth Brooks,
He's the man.
Well, he made himself absolute country. Absolute.
Yeah.
Then he tried to go and do his little alter ego album and it flopped. Because everybody said, oh, well, that's Garth, man. He's purely country. He can't be doing like a rock pop album. But if he hadn't never painted himself into a corner, he could have got by with that a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
It may or may not have done better. But to me, I don't like being stereotyped. I just want to play music.
No.
I'm not particularly a country artist. I'm not a southern rock artist. I could be gospel, bluegrass, rock, country. However anybody wants to perceive me to be, or however they take my music.
Yeah. Hey, if it sounds good, man, it sounds good. I see. My wife, she listens to that Post Malone guy a lot.
Right.
There's a few songs I like, but it's I like what I like, and she likes what she likes. But he done a Nirvana cover live stream where he just done straight Nirvana songs, and it sounded great.
Yeah.
And this is Post Malone, the rapper dude, but he's covering Nirvana. He actually, well, I was telling you, he used to be in a heavy metal group before this, but rap is what makes the money nowadays, so you gotta do what you gotta do.
I don't know if I can pull that off.
You never know, man. Hey, that country rap is. You ever heard of Colt Ford?
Yeah,
but
actually I have.
There's some songs that are they're all right. Chicken and Biscuits. That's a pretty good one right there.
Chicken and Biscuits.
That's off his first stuff. I haven't listened to him in the last few years, but whenever that was like the first thing.
I mean, like I said, I've listened to rap and stuff like that, but. Yeah, I don't think I could pull that off. I wouldn't. Hey, I don't know. I'd feel extremely uncomfortable trying to do that because
you can do a cover of WAP.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
But see, I think though that
bucket in a mop.
that song is disgusting. That's
probably the worst song as far as vulgarity that I've ever heard.
Yeah, I mean, I know that you mentioned Tupac earlier. I know they used to have some pretty bad stuff back in the day, but I felt dirty after listening to that song. I felt like I needed a shower, like I needed to go to church and repent.
You know what?
It wasn't a good feeling.
I think the only other song that I've ever heard that's right up there in that caliber of that is that Stroking. Clarence Carter.
Yeah.
Those two songs are so bad.
Not a lot of people know about Stroking.
I've been asked
Stroking
50 million times to sing that at shows, and I'm like, no. I'm not singing that.
East,
right?
Stroke it to the west. But when my high school,
I wonder if he's her dad.
What if?
Well, right? Because they think about the same. Think about the same way, man.
One time, my high school put in a jukebox in the cafeteria, and they didn't check before they put it in there. And me and some of my buddies, we brought because we seen all the songs on there, and Stroking was on there.
Oh, man.
And me and my buddies, we brought like $10 worth of change the next day, and it was just a continuous loop all day. They eventually had to unplug the machine because we put it on there so many times it wouldn't play anything else. It was like 20 times we played that song.
Oh my God.
We started at breakfast, which is like around 7:00, and I remember like walking by the lunchroom close to lunchtime, maybe around like 11, and it's still playing at high volume. What was that other song that he had? Oh, another song that it ain't by Clarence Carter. Do you remember Chuck Berry's Dingling?
Yeah. I remember the Cheech and Chong version better.
Yeah. Man, people don't see, I love Cheech and Chong. You ever heard like any of their old records and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Santa Claus and His Old Lady, that's a great one.
Yes, my favorite one that they did was when they covered Chuck Berry's Nadine. They really did a fantastic job.
Really?
Chong can play.
Yeah, people don't know
and
that.
And Cheech can really sing. I mean, they burn it down, man. I was like, wow, I was really impressed. I'll tell you how you can find it. If you watch The Corsican Brothers, that was one of their movies. At the very end of that movie, it shows them playing Nadine out on the street somewhere.
I haven't seen that. I have it on DVD, but I haven't seen that movie in quite a while. That's when they're like in the medieval times.
Yeah, they're brothers.
Stuff, right?
Like if one smacks one, the other one feels it.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
Man, they were great. My favorite one that they done, well, music-wise, probably Earache My Eye. That was such a good dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
You know what's bad? I play that all the time.
Really?
I'll just be sitting around and start getting down on the guitar. I don't know.
Man, they were so good and way ahead of their time too, man. Back in the day, it was hard to get away with stuff that they done, but they done it.
Man.
Like old the Dave skit.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's me, Dave. Dave's not here, man.
Yes. Man, there was some good movies. And they were good music in those movies, too. They always had some good music.
Really good music. Up in Smoke had a great soundtrack.
What happened to movies? The soundtracks just fell apart.
Well,
They play garbage.
You know, I can't, like, when it comes to newer movies, I can't tell you one that had like an amazing soundtrack other than like a Quentin Tarantino film.
Right.
That dude, he actually cares about the soundtrack. You ever seen The Hateful Eight? Jack White done the entire soundtrack.
Oh yeah, it's great.
It was awesome. And but besides Quentin, I can't think of another producer that really cares about the soundtrack.
We were talking about not being painted into a corner, stereotyping. That's a guy. You can't pick a genre for him. Because you can put him as metal, emo, whatever, and he'll go, okay, I'll just go over here and make a folk album. Because he can. Because he's never put himself in that position to, well, this is what I am.
Jack White is amazing, man.
He's very talented.
One of my, I don't know my favorite Jack White song. Probably Lazaretto, maybe. I don't know, man. That's a tough one.
I liked a bunch of them, but I'm telling you, after I heard him do Wayfaring Stranger on Cold Mountain, he played in that movie Cold Mountain.
Yeah.
And then I heard the whole full recording of it. I was like, I was very impressed how well he done that.
Man's a genius. I mean, people, they put him into the box of like, because a lot of people still put him in the genre as like when he was in the White Stripes, you know?
Right.
He's somebody completely different now. I'd love to go to Third Man Records.
He said that he loved like bluegrass and country and stuff like that. He loved it.
Yeah.
And he said, he takes a lot of what he does from learning it. And I was like, wow. And if you start listening to some of his music, you can hear little hints of bluegrass and country stuff, little licks here and there. Yeah. It's strange.
Even some gospel stuff, too, whenever he gets that choir in there and stuff. Man, he's a freaking genius. One of my friends went down to tour his, Brennan, the one down there at the Mac. He went to tour his studio whenever he's down there doing his school in Nashville. And he got to tour Third Man Records. And apparently in one of the rooms, there's just a huge elephant head that takes up like half the room.
Oh, wow.
It's mounted on a wall.
Like a real elephant head?
A real elephant head. They don't exactly know the story, but that was a thing. And he's talked about him playing in movies. Did you ever watch the The one song, the one movie with John C. Reilly, whenever he Walk Hard, they're doing the Johnny Cash movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and Jack White, plays Elvis in that one.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, me and my wife, we went back and watched that movie, and that was like one thing I caught with a second glance at it. Jack White's amazing. I'd love to see that dude live.
He's my little girl. For whatever reason, she loves that song "Seven Nation Army."
It's good.
So I was teaching her to play drums. So she learned it on the drums. So that made me have to learn it all on guitar. So I sit and just play it with her.
She seems like she has the easy job, though. I mean, it's just one beat, then the chorus gets a little bit crazy, but yeah, you're doing all the work.
The way he plays it, you can play it in standard tuning, but to play it right with the slide and stuff, it's a little bit of. If you can play it in standard tuning and make it easier, but to play it and get the right sound and stuff, it's tough.
I always liked Icky Thump. That was a great song. Or Rag and Bone. That was another good one, too. And another thing that was great about that band, the White Stripes, it was him and, at that time, wife.
Yep.
Just two people. Mm-hmm. That was it. A drummer and a guitarist. And they were one of the biggest bands in the world there for a few years. They had a good run.
Yeah. I mean, when you think of bands, that goes right along with what we were talking about earlier about condensing everything down your shows and everything. See, I've had to do that. I've had to do shows without a bass player.
Yeah.
A lot of my shows right now, I don't have my drummer, what you'd say is a normal kit. You know, he's having to play a cajon, like when Chris Bentley and I go play, you know, it's him on the cajon and me on the guitar, you know, and then he'll play guitar a little while. But, like I said, it teaches you. I've had to learn to not rely on the bass or a full kit or other guitar players. It changes the whole way the music sounds. I've learned a lot in the last 3 months. A lot.
Yeah, so what's going on with the new single that you're recording right now? Is it like going to be like a part of a full album or anything, or you just
it is long term. Well, not long term.
But right now you're just taking kind of one step.
Well,
I'm
doing the one song because I've a couple stations, well, several, that through mutual friends of whoever has shared like a live version of that song to a couple of them in particular, and they heard it and they want it to play. So now it kind of put me under the gun to because honestly I've been lazy.
Yeah, but y'all, it's quarantine.
Because I've been playing a lot of shows and writing and things, but I've never actually been in the studio, so I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of scared of it.
Yeah.
Because there's a difference between singing to a crowd of people, because your emotions take over.
Yeah.
And that adrenaline and the energy takes over. Well, when you're just standing there singing to an empty room and a mic, it's a little harder. So it put me under the gun to where I'm going to have to get this done like immediately. So I've already started on it, and I've got to get it radio ready. As soon as I get radio ready, I'm shipping it out to those stations, and then I've got to do, what did they tell me? A release party, maybe? So I don't know, something like that. I may be saying that wrong. If I am,
release party. But I mean, I think people can do what they want to nowadays. That's one beautiful thing about the internet, man, is that people have a lot more control over their careers.
I've never heard of such a thing.
Yeah,
but it was suggested to me from some higher ups, and I was like, okay, whatever.
Hey, if that's what they want, man, I think that people can, just do what they want to do nowadays. And if you put in a lot of effort and you get your name out there good enough, it's going to go good no matter how you go about it.
Yeah, I mean, I hope everybody enjoys it. I write a weird way anyhow. I write backwards, completely backwards from everybody I've talked to. I ain't going to tell everybody how to do because it's strange. But anyway. And then all my songs are, I've tried to write, you know how music nowadays, they write about, well, I guess always, I don't know, seem like, I don't know, I just don't like most of the content.
Well, it's almost like they have to sing or rap or whatever about certain things so that people relate to it or whatever and want to play to them certain crowds like we were talking about.
So I write about, I think I mentioned this before, I write about love, either gained or lost. something like that. You know, it ends up, no matter what I start writing, somehow or another, it goes right back to that. And because everybody can relate to that. Because not everybody owns a 4-wheel drive. Not everybody has a horse.
Yeah.
Don't everybody drink beer. And everybody don't smoke weed. And not everybody has a wop. Just saying. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, dude.
So
I agree.
If you write about, to me, you write about stuff like that. Plus, that's what, I don't know, that's what just comes in my heart and in my brain. I like to write about love because that's something the world is missing.
Yeah, I agree.
And I like to write stuff about love.
See, I think that people try to relate way too much to pop culture other than actually relating to what's going on in real life. Like you're saying, you don't want to sing about WAP. You want to sing about actual love because you know that's pop culture comes and goes. And that's what I like to do with a lot of my jokes is basically the same thing. I don't like to tell jokes about stuff that is going on right now. Because if you listen to it a few years from now or somebody watches it a few years from now, it's outdated. They can't relate to it. They're like, what is he even talking about? But if you relate to actual real life, like you're talking about, see, I'll make jokes about marriage or whatever, girlfriends, boyfriends, like anything that people can relate to at any single time and to any crowd too. And man, if people take that approach more to their art or whatever it is, your audience is wide open.
Yeah.
You can relate to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, like one of the songs I wrote is about kind of like screwing up. You made a boo-boo, you know, I mean, you mistake, or he or she's gone now. So everybody's been into that.
Yep.
So whether you like that kind of music or not, you can relate to that song. So that's what I want to do. I want to write stuff that I'd like for people to dance and things like that, so to speak. You know, well, you write stuff that makes people move. Well, that's fine. That's great, whatever. But I would rather touch people on an intimate level in their heart and soul. Yeah. I want them to be able to take that song and go off by themselves completely and just listen to that song and it make them happy. Or do something to comfort them or make them cry.
Yeah.
Just something.
Well, that's that's something that you find in a great album. Like when you can go from front to end, and it's like a roller coaster of emotions.
Right.
The first song, you're in a good mood, you're ready to take on the world. The second song, the dog died or something, and you're depressed. The third song is kind of groovy, makes you dance. It's a roller coaster, man.
Right, man. I mean, it's emotional, and like I said, I want to touch people's heart and things like that because dancing and all that's well and good, but your heart and soul is your whole essence of being. And if you can touch somebody's heart, that means a lot. I mean, that means more to me than anything else.
I agree.
If somebody said, hey, this helped me through a rough time, or this made me realize what I was about to lose, what I was about to mess up, you know, stuff like that, it's worth it all.
See, I think that's what makes you so good, though, because you're one of my favorite local musicians around here, man. But I think that's why, because you care mainly about how your music makes people feel. You don't care about the money. You don't care about the fame. You
if I cared about money, I'd already quit. I've told you, man. There ain't a lot of money in it, but you know.
And you know, and that's another thing that people won't realize either is that you're not going to be rich like that, and 9 times out of 10, you're never going to be rich. But as long as you're having a good time and you're enjoying it, the people are enjoying it, man. You know, money is all and good, but whenever after a show somebody tells you about how much they had a great time and this was a great escape from reality, or maybe that a song it touched them in some way, that's better than any amount of money that somebody can give
I've had that happen at shows. People tell me that, and it's
that's what
I don't even know how to explain how that feels. I mean, there's no to me, there's no way to put it into words of how good that makes you feel, because I don't know. I guess I felt like that. Say it only happened once, but that somebody telling you that helped them or made them feel a certain way, that was worth everything.
Yeah.
Because at least one person was touched. One.
Yeah.
Out of the thousands and thousands I've seen. That's all that matters. The one person to me. I mean, even the Bible says, wouldn't you leave the 99 and go after the one?
Yeah, that's true, man.
And that's all I'm doing, because they could be 100 people or in the 99 and just maybe be like, okay, it's good, but whatever. But that one sitting there bawling like a baby,
yeah,
and it touched them, that's the one I'm after.
Yeah, and I can remember, like, some entertainers having that same impact on me. And to just have vice versa now, it's such a crazy feeling, man. Like you said, there's no way to describe it. There's absolutely no way.
You can't put it into words. I've tried, but it's not. It doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't work.
And that's what helps you keep going, too. I think that, I mean, because I've had times where, you get down on yourself or you overthink or whatever. Then somebody gives that little bit of joy. The fans out there don't realize how much power they have.
They can make your entire show. They can be a blessing to you, or they can make it miserable on you. But also that falls in your lap too. If you're at a show, if you're doing your show, or I'm doing mine, and the crowd is kind of just whatever. We're okay being here, but we won't remember this person tomorrow.
Yeah.
Then it becomes your job and my job. When you notice that, you should be watching all the time to make them remember you tomorrow and win them over every time. That should be number one, to make that crowd get off their butt or start clapping, doing something, and start paying attention. Because if you don't, you failed.
Yep.
You got to make them remember you every show, every time. And then when you get to the point where you're like, okay, it's just another show, you need to quit.
Mm-hmm. Well, it also makes you humble, too. Whenever you realize you're not the, your crap, it still stinks.
You got to work.
You got to work.
You're not work. And I like the working at it. That's the way I do. I mean,
keeps it exciting, man.
I have set lists, I'm sure you got your itinerary, so to speak.
Yeah.
I never go by it. I look at my crowd, and I know it drives everybody crazy, like in my band when I'm playing, because they always ask me, you got a set list? Yeah, can we see it? No. Because I go by my crowd. I'm going to feed off of what they're doing, and if I play 2 or 3 songs and they're kind of on the edge of me, then I'll play something that I'll work hard to get them involved.
Yeah.
Because I want them involved, and I want them to be happy and to feel something. Because if I play 4-hour show and they ain't felt nothing, I failed. Completely.
Well, speaking about playing, how about we play us a few tunes?
Okay, what do you want to hear first?
I don't know, man. What do you want to do an original or you want to do a cover? It's all up to you, man.
I'll do a cover first, get my voice lined out that way, because if I butcher my own song that I wrote, that would be fantastic.
What cover are you going to do? Sounding good.
Oh, Red. We'll do Old Red.
Hey, let's do Old Red. Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Wayne.
Well, I called my wife with another man, and it cost me 99. On a prison farm in Georgia, close to the Florida line. Well, I've been here for 2 long years. I finally made the warden my friend. And so he sentenced me to a life of ease, taking care of Old Red. Old Red, he's the dangest dog I've ever seen. He's got a nose that can smell a 2-day trail. He's the 4-legged tracking machine. You can't consider yourself mighty lucky to get past the gators and the quicksand beds. In all these years that I've been here, ain't nobody got past Red. And the warden sang, come on somebody, why don't you run? Old Red's itching to have a little fun. To get my lantern, get my gun. Red'll have you drink before the morning comes. Well, I paid off the guard and I slipped out a letter to my cousin up in Tennessee. And he brought down a blue tick hound. She was pretty as she could be. Well, they pinned her up in a swampland about a mile just south of the gate. I'd take old Red for his evening run. I'd just drop him off and wait. And the warden sang, come home somebody, why don't you run? Old Red's itching to have a little fun. To get my lantern, get my gun. Red'll have you treat for the morning comes. Well, old Red got real used to seeing his lady every night. And so I kept him away for 3 or 4 days and waited till the time got right. Well, I made my run with the evening sun, and I smiled as I heard him turn red. As I was headed north to Tennessee, and old Red was headed south. And the warden sang, come home somebody, why don't you run? Old Red's itching to have a little fun. And get my lantern, get my gun. Red'll have you dream for the morning comes. Well, there's red-haired blue ticks all in the south. Love got me in here and love got me out.
Yes, man. The last lines of that song is such a great way to sum up that song.
It is.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Blake Shelton, if he didn't get an Emmy or whatever type of award for writing that song, he got cheated because he deserved it. It's a great song, man.
Man, it is so hard to play a flat top guitar for me.
Have you been to that bar there in I think Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, Old Red?
I haven't been there.
It's a good place, man. If you get a chance, check it out.
It's so hard to play this thing. I'm used to my Les Paul.
Well, let's explain to the people what you've done. You were telling me before we hopped on air here. Don't you have electric guitar strings on an acoustic? I've never seen that before.
Well, I wanted to be able to take it and play it whenever I wanted to, like live, if I wanted to use it, because I've had this one a long time. I started out playing this one in church.
Yeah.
And, there's plenty of acoustic electrics out there. You can go buy one. Well, I didn't want one. I wanted this one. This is my baby. The Lord handpicked this for me.
Yeah.
That's a long story. But anyway, so I bought a pickup. It has a big long cable. You can plug it in. And I didn't like that big cable just hanging down here. So I just cut the cable off and wired it into a jack on the bottom. Well, then I got to thinking, I don't like acoustic strings because they're really, most of the time they're real stiff.
Yeah, they're thick, yeah.
So I was like, I've got a jack on it anyways, and if I do take it out and play, I'm going to plug it through an amp or PA.
Yeah.
So I just put electric strings on it, did some work and filed it and all that, and I like it. Plays better.
That's cool, man.
But it still, it still doesn't play like my Les Paul.
Yeah.
But it's good.
You're like Eddie Van Halen over there, man, doing Frankenstein work on guitars. Do you got Lamborghini sunglasses?
No, they're, actually forgot what they are.
Ferrari? I thought that what is that symbol? Ain't that a car symbol?
Yeah, I forgot the name brand of them. I've had
Mustang?
it so long, I forgot. It's like a Ferrari symbol.
Yeah, it looks like it, man.
I don't have a Ferrari, so I have a Chevrolet. Well, a long way from a Ferrari, but I like my Chevrolet better. It's more functional.
Hey, listen, you couldn't pay me no amount of money to drive one of them cars. I'd be wrapped around a tree. I'd get a little bit too brave in them things.
Well, I couldn't afford the maintenance on one. If you blew a tire out, it'd be like, yeah, I'm done. Here, come get it.
Let me see the side of that again.
It's like a...
That looks like it. Okay, I think it's kinda.
Yeah, I can't remember the brand of these.
I'm pretty sure it's Ferrari.
I've had them so long that
those are cool glasses, though.
I bought them at the mall. I just saw them and was like, hey, I like those. So, I don't know. I can't remember the brand.
They're cool glasses, man. How about the hat you had? Wasn't that the same hat you had last time you came in?
This is my baby. I love my hat. That's the reason I was scared to death on that lake. I was like, I said, if it goes in the water, I'm going for a bath because I will have a heart attack.
Hey, us men and our favorite hats, buddy, I'll jump over the cliff for mine. I've probably got about 3
I had
favorite
another
hats.
one just like it that I bought, and I stepped on it.
Ooh. Dang.
But it wasn't my fault. But I stepped on it. I'll leave it at that. That's a long, long story.
What's the original that you want to do for us today, man?
It's called The Place I Want to Be. If my voice will cooperate. These allergies is about to kill me.
Hey, I'm telling you,
I did that
buddy.
show in Charleston outside this past Saturday, and ever since, fall allergies destroy me. I mean,
Same here, dude. Mine are worse in the fall than they are in the spring.
I don't
Way
have
worse.
Like spring or something. It's fall. Fall of the year about kills me.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Me.
That's why little raspy voice right here.
Listen, it's called. This is one we're getting ready. I'm getting ready to. I've actually started recording already.
Oh, this is the new single?
Yeah, this is the one.
Oh, cool.
So I'll
man.
go ahead and do it.
Hey, exciting stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, again, Mr. Larry Wayne.
Lying here beside you, you're a million miles away. I know we said it was over, but I want you to stay. Lay your head on my shoulder and tell your dreams to me. And darling, you're forever the place I wanna be. Sometimes love ain't easy. It can bring so much pain. You are my sunshine. Don't leave me in the pouring rain. Lay your head on my shoulder and tell your dreams to me. And darling, you're forever the place I wanna be. Had our hard times, and love has grown so cold. I need you here by my side to have and to hold. my shoulder and tell your dreams to me. And darling, you're forever the place I wanna be. So lay your head on my shoulder and tell your dreams to me. And darling, you're forever the place I wanna be. Baby, you forever be the place I wanna be.
It ticks me off because you say that you're having like a bad voice day or whatever, but you still sound 10 times better than I ever will. That was beautiful, man.
I'm just having a terrible time. I've had it for a week, man, just voice cracking and stuff.
Hey, that's a beautiful tune, man. What'd the wife think of that one?
Oh, she loved it.
Oh, I would say so.
I like it. I mean, it just I don't know. Just like I said, love, man. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, everybody can relate to it, whether it's going good or going bad in their life. You know, how for you writing a song, is it something that kind of comes to you, or do you sit? You have an idea and you sit down and work on it, or how does it go for you?
A lot of times I'll just be I don't know, just noodling with something.
Yeah. But it's like just things like kind of just come to you out of nowhere. You know?
Because
isn't that weird?
I'll just be playing something. Like, I don't know what I was playing one day. One of the other ones I wrote. I don't know. I was playing Hendrix or something other and just goofing off. Then it hit me. Oh, wait a minute. Let me write this in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I already had all the guitar parts down. Then I was like, well, now I got to write words for it. Because I had the idea in my head.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm weird. I write backwards. So it's crazy.
But it's amazing, though, how ideas develop out of nothing, out of thin air, you know? Whether it's God or whatever anybody wants to believe in, whatever it is, it's a magical thing.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, I guess, I don't know how other writers do it. I mean, I guess they sit down and just, okay, today I'm going to write a song.
Yeah.
That ain't how it works with me. It comes whenever. I mean, just whenever.
Yeah, sometimes I'll be like going down the road and I get an idea and I have to pull out my phone and do the voice record so I don't forget it, you know? And sometimes like I'll go back and look at those ideas and I'll be like, what was I thinking? And then like sometimes I won't have the same mindset, you know? You got to like really capture those moments.
You ought to see my phone. There's so many videos. Just like, it'll be a black screen or a white screen. I've laid my phone down and just started playing.
Yeah.
And recording stuff with my phone, and so I wouldn't forget it. And then that's how I did with that one.
Yeah.
I was just sitting around messing around, and it was like, wait a minute. So I flipped my phone and started recording it, and because I'll forget. I don't know. I just can't sit down and be like, yeah, I'm going to write something today. That never works. It never works.
Wait.
So,
well, that one right there, man, that's a beautiful tune. And I can see what you were saying earlier too about how that it doesn't really fit into a box. It has like a little bit of country to it, but also has like a little bit of pop to it too. Right. Like it's and I can see that being a ballad thing.
Well, that's what I was after. Some of my favorite music, I guess, was probably the '80s ballads.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love the ballads.
The power behind them,
Well, that's what I was after, and I like that kind of music or that style, and even like you take like some of George Strait's really nice ballads, like Troubadour,
such a good song.
Or what's it? I Cross My Heart.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you take the fiddle out of that and some of the other things, nobody ever know it was country. It could be pop because it's just a good song.
Yeah.
I like the ballads. They work great. And that's what I say when I write. I don't want to be classified as, well, he's only, well, I don't know. I want anybody to be able to play it any time. I want somebody that absolutely just loves pop.
Yeah.
Don't listen to nothing but pop. Be able to pick up this song and play it and be okay with playing it, not going, oh, that's country. I'm not going to play it.
Well, it's cool, though, whenever you see, like, different styles of your favorite songs, too. Like, what's that one group that, like, it's an old-time group. They're more like, they all play, like, acoustic instruments, kind of like a bluegrass group, but they do, like, newer pop songs. Like, the biggest one for them was that apple bottom jeans, boots with a fur. But they're like a bluegrass group that does. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They were just around here, and I can't think of their name. But that was cool. And I seen like a bluegrass group do Black Sabbath's Iron Man, you know, and they done a really cool version of it, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, even Sturgill Simpson, he's redone a lot of his like old rock stuff on the new bluegrass album. And it's cool to see like some of his like rock songs as a bluegrass version.
Have you seen? It's been several years ago. David Lee Roth's bluegrass band.
What?
He redone like the whole album, like Panama and all that. Yeah. The album's called "Strumming with the Devil." Instead of "Running with the Devil," it's all bluegrass with David Lee Roth, and it's awesome.
Dude, he can do anything. Listen, I know that people like Hagar and Samuel was amazing. You know, there's two totally different styles of Van Halen, in my opinion. But, man, whenever it comes to just frontmen, David's one of the best of all time. You know, not even talking about Van Halen or the music or anything, just him being on stage, stealing the show. You know, Roth is one of the best to ever do it.
I watched him break his own nose on stage with a big steel pipe. He literally broke his own nose spinning this thing around, whacked himself in the face, blood's running, goes off the side of the stage, gets it taped up, comes back. We're good, man. We're going to start all back over. And, you know, I was like, God, you know, what a front man.
And he's like, he's so short, too. He's little. He's 5-something, but I'm telling you, man, he's as tall as a skyscraper, and he's on that stage. And the outfits too. I went and seen him when he opened up for Kiss at the beginning of this year. It's like the last concert I went to, but yeah, he was wearing like purple and green snakeskin suit or something. Who knows? But that's the thing about David. Yeah, he's cuckoo, he's crazy, but one of the best to ever do it.
Man, my favorite song. Him vocally, not taking anything away from Van Halen because I love Van Halen, was Yankee Rose.
Yeah,
that's my favorite song.
I liked what was that one, Paradise?
Yeah,
that was a good one too.
Yeah, I mean, he I don't know. I felt like on his solo albums, I felt like that he had more control over what he could sing, the way he could sing.
Yeah,
because he kind of was in that same thing with Van Halen, when he kind of constricted to what he could do.
Yeah,
because he was more kind of popish. He wanted to be more pop, and so like Paradise and
Gigolo
Rose, just a gigolo everywhere I go. That's such a funny song.
Yeah, it is. You know, he used to be an EMT there for a little while.
No, I did not.
Yeah, he went and studied Japan, and then became an EMT too. This dude's done it all. David Lee Roth is by far one of the most interesting people I've ever read about in my entire life.
Yeah, he is a little cuckoo now.
But that's
a little gone.
But I don't know if you can be like a great entertainer and not be a little bit crazy. No. Like if you, especially in this industry, man, you can't be normal. You don't fit in.
No.
These are the outcasts and the people that didn't fit in anywhere else, the outsiders. Not a lot of popular kids become.
That's absolutely right, because this is the only thing that I've ever done that makes me feel normal.
Yeah.
I've done other things, like far as working and things like that, and but music is what makes me, playing music is when I feel normal.
Yeah.
When I'm not playing, I feel out of place. Like, I can go to the store, go to the gym, go wherever. I feel out of place. But when I go to play music, either at home by myself, rehearsals, whatever, on stage, that's when I am me.
Yeah.
That's when I feel at my best, when I feel comfortable.
And see, I think that that's what God put you on this earth to do, man. People have what they can find what they're supposed to do. They just got to get out there and do it. Everybody has a purpose.
That is a fact.
I truly believe that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the book, you know, like you said, God puts us all here to do a thing. And like as far as musicians goes, in the book of Genesis, it says that Jubal, that's a man that we get the word Jubilee from. Mm-hmm. Jubal is the father of all who are as such musicians. And that's in the book of Genesis. He is the father of every musician who is ever born or ever will be born. That is where our lineage comes from, is a guy named Jubal.
Oh, that's cool.
So, and, you know, and it goes on down, there's a guy named Jabal and Tubal-Cain. Some of them was artificers of brass, some were tent makers.
Yeah.
Everybody comes from somewhere, but like you said, God put us all here for a job. You just got to find it. You know, I've always wanted to play music since I was a little kid, and I've always played, and I'm not the best at it by no means. I never will be. I'm not the greatest singer, and I never will be. Don't want to be, but I'm good enough where God would give me more, and as long as people like me and I'm content, and people ain't throwing rocks at me, I'm going to keep playing. I'd probably keep playing anyways. I'd just go play by myself if they was throwing rocks at me, because I don't know. I could not ever imagine not playing.
Yeah.
My wife's grandpa played all of his life. He was dying. He was literally dying. Had him laying in a bed at home, and he couldn't talk, couldn't do anything. He had just enough energy to kind of tell you what he wanted. He'd point. He wanted to play. I literally went and got his guitar and laid it on his chest, and him dying. Within a couple of days, he was dead. Mm-hmm. I mean, he just couldn't get up or nothing. But he tried so hard to play. That's how I am. That's the way music is. If you're not playing, you're not happy.
Yeah.
I mean, that was something that I thought, wow. I hope that when I'm 70 years old or whatever it was, and when I'm dying, that desire to play music and be entertaining is still there like that. You know, because I've seen so many people that's super good at playing music, but they don't care if they play or not.
Yeah. It's a gift and a curse. Like, if you love it, it's a gift and a curse. Because, I mean, like you said, you know, you're 70 years old and that's all you think about. You know, it's addicting. It truly is like a narcotic almost. Once you get this thing in your blood. And the thing is, like, if I have kids, I don't even know if I want them to go into this field. Like become a doctor or a lawyer or a teacher, just anything else. Because don't get me wrong, I've had some amazing experiences. I wouldn't change it for anything. But buddy, this lifestyle is totally different than anything else on this earth.
When I made the commitment to pursue this completely and do nothing else, I didn't know. I had never been around anybody that did this professionally, you know, so I didn't know what all was involved with it. I mean, everything changes.
Yeah.
Everything changes. And at times it is complete and utter stress.
Yeah.
And aggravation. I mean, just writing songs, when you write them and you get about halfway done and then just it's like...
Yeah, writer's block hits in.
And then all that, and then booking shows, and then equipment breaking down, and then, like, we drove to Missouri. Man, me and him both were dead. When we got there, we were dead tired.
Yeah.
And then, you know, had to do the shows and blah, 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 and then drive back. I mean, I loved it. But, you know, it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of stress, and a lot away from home, and a lot of eating in gas stations and McDonald's and sleeping in weird beds that's not yours. And
yeah.
It's a
totally different lifestyle than anything on this earth.
When you're a kid and you watch all these guys on TV and you see them on these big buses and blah, 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 that ain't how it is.
No.
That is not how it is.
No, you don't see what goes on behind the scenes.
No, you see what they'll show you, but if you could really see on that bus, every one of them piled up asleep.
Yeah.
Or just sitting there going, oh, my hands hurt, my feet hurt, my legs hurt, I'm tired, I'm hungry. And I mean, it's just, but, you know, I never get tired of picking up my guitar.
Yeah.
I never get tired of it.
And whenever, like we were talking about earlier, whenever you have those moments after a show and somebody says, that song touched me, or thank you for this great escape,
right.
It makes you want to do it again. That's how they pull you back in.
Yes. I quit once. I did. I completely quit. I don't know. I had a momentary lapse of stupidity, I guess.
Hey, that's a good album name right there.
So, and I'd completely quit. I was like, I don't want anything to do with this anymore. I said, this is driving me crazy. Because I couldn't get anything to go the way I wanted it to go. And one of my guitar players, the one I have right now, Jeff Keltner, he's one of my lead players. He's from Chicago, and he calls me up. I'd never met him before at this point. And he's got this Chicago Mafia accent, right?
Uh-huh.
And he calls me up, and I'm thinking, who are you?
Do I owe money?
I was like, do I owe money to the Mafia? And then so he convinced me, and I didn't even know this guy, but he wanted to play music with me. So he is the reason that I started back playing music, because I had completely quit. I would not play for nobody at all. Wouldn't go to church and play or nothing. I was like, I'm done. Don't want to play no more. I just get to that. You get to those points, and so even now you'll get to the points like, whew, man. Especially when this virus hit and everything was, nobody's making any money, you're not getting to play. I was just like, man, this is awful. I just want to give it up.
Yeah.
But then when you get to that point, you got to go ahead and tell yourself you're not a musician and this is not what you're meant to do, and you're going to be miserable your entire life. You'll be 80 years old and go, I regret not going after that. I would rather chase this till the grave and never get any kind of record deal and never get any fame, because I don't care. I don't care. I just want to play. I would rather do this the way I'm doing it and chase it to the grave is to quit and be 80 years old and go, what if?
Yep.
Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I do that? I don't want the what ifs. I want to do exactly what God gave me to do. And this is the only thing I've ever been halfway good at. Yeah. So I'm going to stay with it.
And people can find what they're good at. They just got to go out there and find it.
I've told people that before. I had a friend of mine said, I'm not good at nothing. I said, you might be good at cooking.
Who knows?
You might be good at sewing, or you might be good at digging holes.
Yeah.
Everybody's good at something.
Yeah, me and my wife are making shirts right now. And
I saw those.
Yeah.
It's Hippie Factory.
Yeah, Happy Hippie Factory. Check it out, folks. But
exactly.
It's mainly her thing. I've been kind of just helping out with it, But I didn't think that I was going to be doing shirts. I didn't want to make shirts. But now I'm having fun with it,
I love tie-dye.
Yeah, I love... I try to do different things. She does the whole tie-dye, but I try to do but that's the thing. I would have never thought that I want to do clothes. I never would have pictured that. I only done it because she made me, basically. But now I'm having fun with it, and it's cool to get out of your comfort zone.
Ain't it funny
like
how
that.
They can make you do stuff?
Yep.
They
got a lot of power.
You're trained. I don't care what nobody says. If you got a wife or a girlfriend, you've been with her a long time, you're trained.
Yeah.
Because all she's got to do, I can prove it by one thing. I'm cold. You want me to turn the heat on? You want me to get a blanket?
Yep.
And then you'll go, oh, wait a minute. I just did that without her even asking me. I'm trained.
They're good at it. And
they're slick, man.
Hey, and I don't know how they do it, and they won't reveal their secrets. You bunch of
right? Yeah, because you can go, I'm cold, and the first thing I go, well, go put some clothes on. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, we never really get it back,
No, not so much.
Or maybe on the birthday, or maybe around Valentine's Day, close to Christmas. Hey, but for the people that want to check out all your music and check you out online, the shows, all that good stuff, where do they go to see more Larry Wayne?
We have a page on Facebook. It's Sweet Run, and Instagram, and all that good stuff. And there's going to be a bunch of shows put on. I've got a ton of shows that I've got to put on, and I have not yet. The manager's supposed to did it, but I didn't send it to him. So, so yeah, that's my fault. But anyway, if anybody's around this weekend, local, I'm going to be at the Brick House Friday in Prestonsburg.
Love that place.
And yeah, they're nice people.
Good
LaDonna
food, too.
does a wonderful job. They have great food. And then Saturday, I'll be at Fat Boys in Martin. And it's another great place.
I've heard of it. I haven't been down there.
Listen, one of my favorite foods on the planet is hamburgers. I'm a red meat eater, big time. Red meat. Love hamburgers. That's the best hamburger I've ever eaten in my life. And I've been all over the United States. And they've got, their atmosphere is cool too. It's just real quaint, you know, and the servers and stuff is really nice. It's clean.
Well, it sounds like a place I need to be too. Fat Boys, you know.
Oh, they named it after a bike, the Harleys.
Oh,
it's
yeah, the Fat
kinda
Boys,
got a Harley motif and stuff, you know. And it's one of the bike routes on, there's this big map. I didn't know there was such a thing, but there's a big map. All these bike riders all over Kentucky, these routes and stuff that they'll take. And that's one of the stops on the route is this place called Fat Boys. And I'm telling you, man, it's some of the best food I've ever ate. And like I said, Melinda, she owns the place, and super nice lady, you know. So you guys come down Saturday, Fat Boys, Friday at Brick House, hang out, get some food, dance a jig, whatever.
Ladies and gentlemen, be there. Larry, thanks again, buddy. It's always fun.
Thank you, brother.
See you next week, folks. Boom.